Alright, so this is just going to be a whole bunch of Mandela effects really quick and with very little evidence or anything, just one or two things, and then I'll move on to the next one. And yeah, I think it might work out a little bit better than these videos that are not getting very many hits anymore, and I guess people are losing interest, so I'll try and make this one quick and a whole bunch and comprehensive. Alright, so the first Mandela effect is the Monopoly Man. He had a monocle, and everyone who's ever dressed up as him for Halloween or for costumes ever wore a monocle. I remember a monocle. Most people remember a monocle. There's lots of evidence out there. Jim Carrey makes a joke about it, and Ace Ventura, Pet Detective. And yeah, there's the debunking here is that people remember Mr. Peanut, which is ridiculous. Mr. Peanut is only in North America, and the Mandela effect for the monocled Monopoly Man, the Monopoly Man monocle, is all over the world, including Australia and Europe, where they do not have Mr. Peanut. Do you remember the Monopoly Man monocle? I sure do, and that's why I'm putting it on this list of best Mandela effects. And since we're on Cracked Magazine, that's going to be my number 2 quick Mandela effect. Cracked Magazine. I could have swore there used to be an apostrophe there instead of an E. And you can search, and there's hundreds of references to Cracked with that apostrophe there, and it's never been that. Every single issue, I checked the cover, it's always been Cracked, spelled correctly. I remember it with apostrophe D. So number 3 is the Drug Enforcement. And what does the A stand for? Drug Enforcement. Did you say agency? Because it's totally not. It's Drug Enforcement Administration, and it's always been that. I always thought it was Drug Enforcement Agency, and I was shocked when they said it was administration. When I showed people this and I asked them what it stands for, everybody said agency. So then you got number 4, the Smithsonian, and what does the I stand for? Because I always thought that it was the Smithsonian Institute. Okay, but it's totally not. It's the Smithsonian Institution, not Institute. And once again, if you search for that, you'll find like hundreds of references. I made a video. It goes back to like people have been calling it the Smithsonian Institute since like the 1800s. So it's hard to tell what's going on, why everybody calls it that. But yeah, totally, the Smithsonian Institute is not real. It's the Smithsonian Institution, which sounds crazy, like a crazy institution. So John Carpenter's They Live. I remember the title having an exclamation point at the end of it, but as you'll see, there's literally no exclamation points like anywhere in a movie poster, in the DVD, Blu-ray box. It's all They Live. It looks like there should be an exclamation point right there, and if you had asked me before checking the box, and I've seen this movie a lot of times, I would have totally said there's an exclamation point at the end of it. I was kind of surprised. There's not a whole lot of information as to why we all remember this, but there is a band out there for some reason called They Live! Exclamation point, like the yeah, They Live. I don't know why I remember an exclamation point, and so do millions of other people. And yeah, it's totally not any part of the movie poster, the box. It's nowhere in the movie. They Live! Exclamation point. Next one, Tom Cruise, Risky Business, slides in his underwear and a shirt, singing Old Time Rock and Roll. He had the sunglasses. I remember the sunglasses, and like, yeah, pretty much every parody you're gonna see of it out there on the internet, they've got sunglasses too. Like literally, Tom Cruise slides out in his underwear, wearing a white shirt and sunglasses in his underwear. And yeah, he's totally not wearing sunglasses, and the shirt is now pinky color. So I totally remember sunglasses. It's pretty much the most iconic scene like in the movie, and that's the scene everybody remembers. Every single parody, there's like dozens. I've got a whole bunch. I made a video on this. You can check it out, but this is one of my favorite Mandela effects. And this was a fairly recent one. I only covered fairly recently. I only heard about it recently. And it's Tweetle Dee and Tweetle Dum. Remember those two guys, right? They had propeller hats, and I sure remember them having propeller hats. And there's a lot of costumes out there where they have the propeller hats, right? Okay, but that's not Tweetle Dee and Tweetle Dum. They had flags as hats, and I mean, and it's all of it. I mean, the cartoon, the original Lewis Carroll book, the theme park, wherever they are, Disney or wherever. There is no, there's no propeller hats at any official. I don't know if Tweetle Dee and Tweetle Dum have official anything, but the movie, the cartoon, the everything, they have flags. But hundreds of people, millions of people, myself included, remember these damn propeller hats. I totally remember Tweedledee and Tweedle Dum having propeller hats. So where did that come from? I can't even figure out where it came from. It's just there. Everybody seems to remember it, but why? Fuck, who knows? See, that even clearly says adult Tweedledee Tweedledum costume, and it has a propeller hat. But at no point in their history did they ever wear propeller hats. Where did it come from? I don't know. Alright, so number 8 is the flesh-colored crayons. Those were discontinued in 1962 or 1961. Okay, so that's a good decade and a half before I was born. I grew up in the 80s, and I most definitely remember playing with flesh-colored crayons. Holy shit. So the fact that they were discontinued in the 60s, and it's pretty much impossible that I ever had a flesh-colored crayon, how do I remember them? So then we have the Fruit of the Loom logo. This one's pretty simple. I remember it having like a cornucopia or whatever you call that thing, but in reality the real Fruit of the Loom logo looks like that. It doesn't have anything. It's just a bunch of fruit. It's not sitting in anything, but somebody made this nice fake, the one they remember, and that's kind of like what I remember too. I don't remember just being a bunch of fruit. I remember it actually being in something, and if you look at all the logos over the years, it has never had anything. It's always just been a bunch of fruit. Alright, so here's another one that I'm pretty sure it was me that even discovered this. I don't remember. But remember the movie Cool Hand Luke? And he says, what we have here is a failure to communicate. But he does not say that. There's no A in it. He says, what we have here is failure to communicate. Okay, and if I was the only one that remembered it like that, I'd be cool with it. But like, I mostly remember it from the Guns N' Roses Civil War song, and it starts off with a sample from that. So yes, later in the movie, what's his name, Paul Newman, does say it exactly like that. Is a failure to communicate. But I'm talking about the boss man here, whatever his name was. He never says a failure to communicate. This one does it right. What we have here is failure to communicate, or quote unquote right. But this one is how he actually says it in the movie. And I clearly remember that sample from the Guns N' Roses song as being a failure to communicate. Then we've got this one, the Alfa Romeo, although I always thought it was Alfa Romero. But when you look at it, it's Alfa Romeo. Where did I get Alfa Romero from? I don't know, but there's a lot of other people that remember the same thing too. Like when you search for Alfa Romero, there's like tons and tons and tons of hits. Another one was the Jaws movie poster. I totally remember this fucking poster having a bite out of one of the letters. I'm not sure which one it was. It was either the W or the S, but yeah, it had like a big shark bite in the word. And I can't find any evidence that this was ever an actual poster, but I totally remember it. Jaws, the logo, had a big shark bite in it. So you remember Al Capone. So how did Al Capone die? Most people remember it was the syphilis thing, but where did he die? I recall him dying in prison, okay? But that guy was released from prison to get treatment for syphilis, or he was released anyway, and he lived for like 7 or 8 years after that. He died in the hospital. But then we've got Dirty Harry's most famous line. He has a big firefight with the criminals, and he's like, asks them if they remember how many shots he has, and he says, well, do you feel lucky, punk? Well, he never actually says that. What he actually says is, do I feel lucky? You gotta ask yourself a question. Do I feel lucky? Not do you feel lucky? Interesting, because I totally remember it being, do you feel lucky? Well, do ya, punk? Popular, do you feel lucky, punk? And he never says that in the movie. Then you've got Field of Dreams. If you build it, blank will come. Now, obviously, if you build it, they will come. But no, he never says that in the entire movie. It's if you build it, he will come. Like, it's about his father. But yeah, I always remembered it as being they. And you'll find tons and tons of residue on this one too if you look around. Then you've got like Crocodile Dundee's most famous line. That's not a knife. This is a knife, but that's not at all what he says. He says, that's not a knife, that's a knife. So yeah, what he actually says is, that's not a knife, that's a knife. So everyone gets that one wrong. So it either just changed or we're all wrong for, I don't know. It's his most famous line. You'd think we would repeat it correctly. Next one, Mr. Rogers. It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. Yeah, he never said that. He always said it's a beautiful day in this neighborhood, which totally sounds wrong. Like a lot of these Mandela effects, when you hear it, you're like, no, that sounds wrong. It should be it's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. There's tons of residuals around there, and yeah, it's totally this neighborhood. So everybody gets it wrong. Everybody remembers it wrong. Everybody quotes it wrong, or maybe the Mandela effect just changed it. Let's start this one again then. Number 18, Pulp Fiction, when John Travolta runs over or Samuel L. Jackson hits a bump, and John Travolta's pointing a gun at his captive, Marvin, and he says, "Oh man, I just shot Marvin in the face." But he totally doesn't say that. He says, "Oh man, I shot Marvin in the face." There's no just. But you'll see here that there's lots of people that remember, "Oh man, I just shot Marvin in the face." There's tons of memes, there's tons of references to it. A lot of people remember this one. Cracker Jacks? What the hell happened to Cracker Jacks? Now it is just now it's just Cracker Jack in every incantation, or every the old ones, the original ones. It's always been Cracker Jack. I could have sworn it was Cracker Jacks. There should be an S on there. I want to write an S on there. It's wrong. It feels wrong. It looks wrong. It's wrong. Cracker Jacks. Everyone knows it's Cracker Jacks. Get out of here. Madonna's real name. So apparently her real name is Madonna. I always heard that she, or I always remembered that she took it just to, kind of piss off the Catholic Church. She was Italian American, wanted to, take some jabs at the Pope, and everybody thought that her name was Luisa Maria Ciccone. So that's kind of like weird that we would pick. Everyone remembers the same wrong name. Like this, that's just totally made up out of thin air. Luisa Maria Ciccone. I don't remember her real name being Madonna. I remember her giving an interview where she said it wasn't her real name. I can't find that interview now, of course, because it's been Mandela'd. So these aren't in any order, but because I really like this one. If it was like in order, this one would be near the top. The A-Team van. What I remember the A-Team van looking like is like this: all black, red stripe. But the actual A-Team van is black, red stripe, and a gray part at the top. Like every single episode, you'll see it. It's two-tone with a red stripe. But I remember just being fucking solid black, and the only solid black one is like the Hot Wheels one, or fan tribute vans or whatever. But yeah, two-tone van. I remember all black, red stripe, not two-tone. Yeah, like I said, these aren't in any order because this is also a great one as far as I'm concerned. Dolly from Jaws. Dolly from Moonraker, Jaws' girlfriend. Jaws crashes, steps out of the ship or whatever, and Dolly is there. She smiles, has braces, and then they both instantly fall in love. Everybody remembers this very specific scene, but yeah, you can't find anything with her having braces. She never had them. So why everybody remembers that, and people even asked Blanche, whatever her name is. Yeah, here's even like that's a description of the movie, and I can't remember what it's in, but it's in something fairly official. Dolly is a short blonde girl with pigtails, glasses, and braces. And it's in a lot of like James Bond like books and like James Bond like message boards. It's all over. Everybody remembers the braces, and she never had braces. Yeah, and people have even asked Blanche Dvorak, I believe her name is, and she never had braces. They've even asked the actress, and she said nope, no braces. So this is one that I never actually covered in any of my videos because I couldn't really remember, and like if I don't remember it, then I don't usually make a video on it because I just kind of want to be honest about what I remember and what I don't. I'm not going to be like one of those people that makes 10 zillion videos and just to make videos. Like, but the Back to the Future van, there are a lot of people that remember this Toyota van. Holy shit! Like it's actually a Volkswagen van, and I guess Volkswagen's another Mandela effect I might cover before the end of this. But Toyota. People remember this Toyota van. There's even been people who have found like ads for an old Toyota van that say like, oh yeah, it's the terrorist van from Back to the Future, ha ha ha. And it's totally not. It's, yeah, the terrorists drive this the VW van, but there's millions of people that remember the Toyota van, which is kind of weird, don't you think? Like you'll see it over and over again. It's like people remember this van specifically, and they don't remember the VW van. So you can check the video or check the movie yourself. It's definitely it's a Volkswagen van. So why do these people have this very specific memory of a Toyota weird looking van like that? It's kind of a weird one, this one. That's why I'm covering it, because I think it's unusual that this many people would have a memory of something like that. It's very specific. Yeah, so even though I got a bunch of thumbs down when I made this video, Mikey from Life Cereal, let's give it to Mikey. He likes everything, but that's totally not the line. The line is, let's give it to Mikey. He hates everything. So why would they give it to him if he hates it? That doesn't even make sense. But yeah, that's the line. Let's give it to Mikey. He hates everything. But I remember it as, let's give it to Mikey. He likes everything. So this will be the only biblical one on my list, since I am definitely no biblical scholar, but I seem to remember the lion lays down with the lamb. You know what I'm saying? Lion, lamb, everyone's happy. It's, you know, there's all sorts of these references to that. So then you've got in the Bible, number 50 here will be the blank lays down with the lamb. So yeah, the first suggestion here is the lion shall lay down with the lamb. But okay, there's one with the wolf. That's right, the wolf one. But all these other ones, lion, lamb, lion, lamb, lion, lamb. It's like the first, like, so many, all these results are all lion and the lamb. And that's not in the friggin' Bible. It's the wolf lays down with the lamb. So when did that change? Why does everyone quote lion and lamb? There's like lion and lamb ministries and there's so many references, paintings, fucking memes. Everybody remembers the lion laying down with the lamb, and in the Bible it is the wolf lays down with the lamb. So where'd that come from? Why did it change? Who knows? Thanks for watching my video.